No matter how good you are, you won't perform well unless you have the right settings in Valorant. You can have the best skill and the best gaming PC in the world, but without the right settings, you are nothing. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to show you the best settings for Valorant in 2023. Let's not waste time and head right into the video. Let's start with the first tab, which is General tab. My enemy highlight color is set to yellow because I think yellow is much easier to spot. It works really well for me. For some people, like red might work for them. Red is also good. It's a default one. And some people set it to purple. Let's see, it's in purple. Yeah, purple is also good. But for me, the best one is yellow. You should try all the colors and see which one is the best for you. And the next one is sensitivity, which for me is 0.24 with 1600 dpi. It's pretty much a high sense, you can say, because I really like high sense. It gives me the mobility and I feel much more comfortable on it. I just don't feel comfortable when I use low sense. For me, high sense is the one, but some people prefer like low sense. And the next one is a raw input buffer, which I set it to on. Basically, the thing that raw input buffer does is that it will send the data of your mouse directly to the game, which makes things so faster. And it's a really good option which they added recently. It's on a better version, but turn it on, it really works awesome. And the next one in map settings, remember to turn off keep player centered, because if you turn it on, you can't see the whole map and it's going to be a bit hard to spot other sites when you're in a certain site. The next one is first person handedness, which is pretty personal. For me, I put it on right because I started playing FPS with like right hand characters, and you know, I'm used to it. Like when I put it on left, it's really cringe for me, and I can't focus when the gun is on the left hand. But some people prefer it on the left hand. It depends on you. Try both and see which one works for you. And the next one is show bullet tracers, which I put it on, but some players, they turn it off, because when you turn it off, you won't be able to see your own bullets, but you can see the enemy's bullets. And when you can't see your own bullets, well, the con of it is that when you spray, you can't see the bullet. But the good thing about this is that when you want to tap the enemy, you can see them much better when you're shooting. See, like, there are no bullet traces and I can tap them much easier. But as I said, when you spray, it's a bit hard to control it because you won't be able to see your bullets. Personally, I like to turn it on, but some players turn it off so that they have a better vision for their aim. And the rest options in the general tab are mostly personal, such as like auto reject friend requests. These are like personal things and it depends on you. They're not going to affect your game that much. Let's head over to the control tab, which is also personal. It depends on you, but I'm going to show you my keybinds. Well, the first ability, I put it on top mouse button, which is the C ability. And I put the second ability on Q and the third ability on E. These two are defaults, but the first one I changed it from C to mouse button 2. And the ultimate for me is also X. The one thing I changed recently was my jump keybind, which I changed it from mouse wheel up, because I've seen and I've heard lots of players saying that you should change your jumping button from a space to a mouse button because it makes it so much easier. And at first it was really difficult for me because I was used to space a lot, but right now after a couple of months I'm totally used to it, and I think it's really better than like a space button. If your jump is set onto a space, I recommend you to change it to your mouse wheel. At first it might be difficult, but you will see that it works awesome. And we have limit FPS options. Just remember to like turn off limit FPS always, because it will limit your FPS. I recommend you to turn limit FPS in background on and set the FPS amount to 30. And by doing this, your PC can have a rest when you're in the lobby and doing nothing. It can rest. And it goes the same in menu and in background, or like while selecting the agents. When you're not playing, your PC can have a rest. Let's go for graphics quality. multi-threaded rendering, always put it on because it will increase your Valorant performance on your PC with using both GPU and CPU, and it really helps the game to run much smoother. And for me, material quality, texture quality, detail quality, and UI quality are all of them low to get the most FPS out of it. But you can change them. You can set the material quality to medium and texture quality to medium. But remember, you can change the others except the detail quality. Well, you should always put the detail quality on low. It's usually because of abilities in games such as Viper's Wall. When you put the detail quality on high, Viper Wall is much more different and has a lot of effects. But when you put it on low, the Viper Wall has not that much details anymore, and it's a simple wall. And VisionNet and VSense for me is off, and anti-aliasing I recently changed it to mine was always none. I sometimes put it on MSA 2x or MSA 4x because for me it makes enemies head and body shape much more smoother than when you turn it off. Let's compare. As you can see, it's a bit more pixely, but when I turn it to MSA 4x, as you can see, enemies head and body looks much more in shape, and it's easier to tap these guys when they have a better shape, right? And the filtering one, it was a 1x for me, but I changed it to 8x. The same reason why I changed anti-aliasing to MSA 4xx. It just makes enemies more visible for me. It's a personal change. You can put both of them to none and 1x and play with the lowest graphic. Well, it depends on you. Just try both of them and see which one goes for you. By the way, guys, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe my channel if you enjoyed watching until here. Thank you. And the next one is improve clarity, which I set it to off, and the others are off except experimental sharpening. Make sure to put experimental sharpening to on. It's something like anti-aliasing, and the enemies look much better. Not just only the enemies, the shape of the boxes and the map, even your hand, the knife, the gun in your hand. Their shape is a bit different. Let's compare them. I turn it off. As you can see, the game looks a bit more, I guess, creepier, you can say. And I really prefer it when it's turned on. As you can see, enemies are more visible. Try both of them. Set it once off and set it once on and see which one works for you. But I recommend you to set it on, much better. And for the stats tab, I put the client FPS on text only. The rest are high except the network RTT. I set it to text only. I don't really like graphs because they're a bit on nerves, a huge thing on the right of your monitor, It's a bit on nerves for me. I just recommend the text of it because I have a pretty high ping. I always want to see my ping, whether it's good or not, because sometimes games lags and, it really goes on nerves. My ping is really not that good, so that's why I put the text only for my network RTT to see my MS. But if you have a really good internet, you can just simply hide it. It really doesn't matter. But remember to put the client FPS on text only. And for the audio tab, the overall value, make sure that you set it to the highest amount of it. It's the overall volume of the game. The sound effects, for me, it's the highest. It's 100. Voiceover volume 100. Video volume 100. And all music overall volume 100. And menu and lobby music volume, I put it something 20% or 30% because it's not really necessary. And to be honest, the music in the lobby is a bit on nerves. It's not that enjoyable anymore, so I put it on 20 or 10%. And it goes the same for agent select music volume. Well, it's nothing necessary though. You can set it to 100, but I prefer to set it on 20 For speaker configuration, we have mono and stereo. It depends which type of headset you are using, but usually stereo is the best one. I tried mono and it was a bit weird, so I recommend you to put it on stereo. And the last one is enable HRTF, which is an option that Riot Games added like a year ago, and some players really don't like it and the others do. The thing HRTF does is it makes like footsteps and sounds hearable for you, can say, and like you can spot footsteps and gunfights much better. That's the point of HRTF. But for some people, it just makes it harder to hear footsteps. It really depends on you. Like, try both of them. It depends on you and your headset. Try both of them and see which one works for you. Personally, for me, I don't really like it when it's turned on, so I turn it off. And that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching until here. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe my channel for more content in future. Like always, thanks for watching, and I see you in my next videos. Bye.